Hey guys, quick audio check. Yo, audio's good. How's everyone doing? Hey Zach, hey Ethan, Alex, what's going on? James, hey Ali, hey Orlando, hey Anzi. Yeah, cool guys. So this call, we're going to be bringing Mete up on the stage in a few minutes, and it's going to be a good one. So definitely stick in the chat throughout the whole call. Not sure how long we'll go for, possibly an hour, maybe just over an hour. Mete's a busy guy now, so we should be thankful that he's jumping on and giving us his time. I think there'll be quite a few of you guys who have maybe listened to the recording or who were on the previous call that I had with Mete, and I think back then Mete was doing around about 200k per month, 200, 250k I think he hit, and then and yeah, he's been scaling, he's been Chad scaling, and he's gonna keep scaling. So yeah, we'll bring Mete up. Mete can give you a bit of a rundown for any of you guys who aren't familiar or didn't listen to the last call that we had with him. And yeah, we'll go from there. Ask as many questions as you want within the chat. You know, I'll let Mete give his perspective on a lot of the questions that you guys have. Obviously, I take these calls every 2 weeks, so a lot of the theory is the same between Mete and I. You know, we run things very similar, because Mete and I, for any of you guys who don't know, Mete and I, we actually work together on a one-to-one basis. So Mete came to me this time last year, and yeah, we've been working with each other ever since. But yeah, we'll cut to it. We'll bring Mete up. Mete, I think if you want to request, I can bring you up, bro. Yo, G,
Hey guys, can you hear me?
loud and
Yeah.
clear, bro. Mic is
All
sounding
right.
good.
Yo, how are you guys doing? How are you, bro?
Doing good, man. How's things?
Good, bro. Good.
Busy
Yeah, I
day?
mean, yeah, busy day, but like still all good, bro. Like I have the evening for you guys, so I'm not rushing anywhere. So as much as the audience wants, I'm down to speak.
Yeah, we just got to spill all the sauce in this call, bro.
Yeah, let's do it, bro. I'm excited, to be honest.
Me
Let's do
too,
it.
man. I think, yeah, as I said, I think there'll be some guys in here who maybe haven't listened to the last call or maybe know absolutely nothing about your journey, how long you've been in the game, what it's been like for you. So I just think if you can give a general rundown and yeah, just
Yeah,
start from the start and yeah, just catch people up who obviously
yeah.
don't know anything.
Yeah, for sure, bro. So it all started while I was studying in the uni. It was my last year. I did engineering degree and I was pretty busy with the exams, so wasn't really all in ecom, but I was still like very hyped because I really didn't want that 9 to 5 life after I graduated. So like it all started with a basic Google search, how to earn money online, and then I heard this term dropshipping. And English is like not my language, but even though for native speakers, I think dropshipping term can be like something new, right? So I was like, what is dropshipping? I was Googling it and then going to YouTube, watching a couple of videos there. And the gurus those times, like 3 years ago, bro, like right now I'm thinking they have no idea, like zero idea what dropshipping is, how ecom works. They were just there to like probably sell courses or this kind of stuff. So yeah, I started with them, been to many like wrong paths, but then I ended up doing TikTok organic for like a year and a half or something like that. And with TikTok organic, I was doing some numbers as the margins were high as well. I was seeing some money in the bank account and I was like, okay, I'm sorted. Like if I do this for 3 years more, I can buy myself an apartment or a car, whatever I want, right? But I was making money because one of my videos were going viral, and then suddenly stopped getting viral videos, and then I realized that organic is not the way to do sustainable income for life. So then I started Googling, okay, how can I do sustainable e-com? Like, how can I make money every month consistently? And then I realized I need to do paid ads. I tried Facebook ads. It didn't work for me because I had like zero knowledge about how D2C ads are like. I had no idea that I need to know my customers. Like I need to understand their psychology, AIDA model, like the ones that you mentioned in your training, all sorts of stuff. I had no idea. So I just made simple ads. The ones that I see on Facebook, I just replicated them, ran for my product, and nothing happened. I just wasted like probably 500, $600, and then I realized, okay, Facebook is maybe not for me, and I just left it completely. And then I found Google Ads, and with Google, things were much easier because with Google, you just target keywords.
Hmm.
You just, for example, like if you're selling like a makeup brush, you just check on Google. I'm not sure what it's called, keyword,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
something keyword. Basically, on Google Ads, you go and write your keyword there, and then it shows you how many monthly searches there are. Let's say like 30K monthly searches, and above 15K or something is usually good to target. And then I was just targeting those keywords, and sales were coming in easily. Like I had to do minimal maintenance. You don't need to do constantly video ads, video editing, script writing. You just target keywords there, and then you just have a merchant center where you upload your products. I still do Google Ads. I'm not like saying Google Ads is nothing, but it's not scalable. Like at least for me, it wasn't because I had minimal knowledge. Maybe there are Google Ads agencies which can scale you to million months. Probably there are, but for me, I had like again minimal knowledge about it. But I was making some money. I was making like 10K a month. That was last year, by the way. What like about Google Ads all happened last year. But one thing I was missing, and that was the knowledge about taxes and like structuring a company, all sorts of stuff. So whatever profit I made from Google Ads, I literally gave away in VAT because I wasn't including that VAT threshold, like that's 20% in the UK,
Hmm.
in my product price. So I was giving 20% of my profit back to the government. So basically and the profit I was making was 20% anyway, so I was like breaking even. Then I realized like, okay, things are not going as I expect. I'm not making any money at all, and where am I doing wrong? And that's when I realized that I need to like learn this ecom stuff from someone that is already good at it. And that's why I started searching. Like I went to Twitter. I didn't even went to Twitter to find someone to teach me, but I was just like scrolling, and I saw Ben. Yeah, Ben was doing insane numbers last year around
Oh fuck
September.
yeah, I remember that.
He was doing crazy numbers, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like, how do guys like in a matter of 2 months do insane numbers on ecom? Like, I did this thing like for 2 years, and I didn't make any profit, you know." And around those times, I was also in a loss as well, if you remember,
Yeah.
around October last year. So then I realized you're teaching Ben everything, and then I went to Ben's like feed and everything. So your profile went there and just reached out to you and said, "Hey, like, mentor me and stuff." And then that time I met you, and the story began there.
Yeah,
The
bro.
one
So,
$1 million story.
and yeah, to give people some context, I remember that must have been we jumped on a call. When was it? Was it August or September last year? Would you say?
Yeah, end of September, so start of October.
Yeah, and you were so skeptical. Remember, because I think your I think your current store was you were doing good revenue, but then as you said with the VAT and then also some miscellaneous costs that maybe you didn't track properly. I think it was like minus was it about minus 1.5k a month
Yeah,
thereabout.
around around 2K, bro.
Yeah,
I was skeptical because many people were warning me as well, like saying, be careful, like you never know who's legit and stuff like that.
yeah,
But you gotta take that risk at the end of the day. it's not like a face-to-face relationship where you go to like a event and you see person and understand if it's real or not. Everything is online what we do, but I'm so like fucking grateful that I met you, bro.
Thank you, bro. It's been a mad journey, and yeah, I think that product that we were running last Q4, I think from when we started working together, I think we took it to about was the highest month around 80 or 90k
Yeah,
thereabouts. Yeah,
yeah,
80 or 90k, and then there was just some issues with the product, wasn't there? I think there was some issues with the factory as well, and we just decided that we would put it aside and move on to the next thing. So yeah, I
exactly.
think yeah, take it from there. So we had you had probably what was the best Q4 that you had up until that point. We started running on Facebook instead of running on Google. We started running heavily on Meta. You learned the
Yeah,
basics of running on Meta and the
yeah.
foundations of how to scale and how to build high converting creatives. And then January time, I believe, is when you made the pivot and when you found your latest product.
Yeah, like I'm not saying anything bad about the previous product, even though like that was a horrible product that like costed me a lot of money in refunds because of the product quality. It was a product that literally broke when arrived to people. But that product taught me a lot of stuff about Facebook ads. So like my Facebook ads journey started last year, October. We started learning the basics, as you said, the ADA model, like how to understand your customer psychology and all sorts of stuff, like the hooks, how to scale ads, how to test products. And we did that successfully as we ran the product, as you said, like 80, 90K months. And then around January, I started getting a lot of complaints and I had to refund, I believe, around like 10K or something in pounds. So that's a lot of money, and that's why I said, okay, like this product is not a long-term game. It was a good quick cash, and I had a lot of customer issues. And at the same time, we wanted to have some good relationship with Stripe, Shopify payments, PayPal, Facebook ads. I didn't want to get banned, and that's why we said like from January, let's start a new journey, a new product. And at the same time, I was hungry for like even higher numbers because I knew that my margins were slim with that previous product, and I didn't want to spend more time working on a like low margin product basically.
Yeah, it's super important to know when to actually pivot and move on to the next thing because with that product you were running it for how long? Would you say?
That product ran for a year, but
Yeah.
it started with organic again, and then Google Ads. And with Google Ads, I was just doing like minimal profit. But
Yeah.
then with Facebook, we really took it to the next level. Like I've never seen in my life like 80K in revenue, and I'm like that was already for me mind blowing, bro. Like last year in December, I was like mind blown. I was like,
I
okay,
remember.
Cam is a G. Like he taught me Facebook ads, and like my life will. It really hyped me there. But I never knew like next year would be even another level.
Bro, this year is like it's fucking crazy. Like most
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean they most of the guys know, but how much what was like the total revenue that you did last month? How where did we finish off in October?
October 1 million something, bro. $1
Yeah.
million.
So like
Uh,
over seven fingers, and that's just on
yeah,
one singular store as well. You know, that's not across like four or five different stores, which is still impressive. But to do one
yeah,
mil on your store when you've been obviously you've been in ecom for longer than a year because you were dabbling in organic and Google ads, but for someone who's really just understood the full concept of Facebook and how to scale and how to
yeah.
build out listicles and advertorials and start to hire a team. It's crazy, man. Like it's probably one
Exactly.
of the quickest. Yeah, in fact, it is like the quickest zero to hero story from someone who's went from pretty much no knowledge in this to
Yeah.
hitting that seven figure milestone. So, no, well done, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for everything. Honestly, I'm still mind blown. Like that's why I'm excited to share my story and like my learnings this year, what I have been through. Like we can just
Yeah.
dive deeper and like talk about
Yeah,
everything.
I think before we get into the questions, this might be repeating a little bit of the last call, but you might have a bit of a different perspective now that you've been running this for
Yeah.
coming up near a year. But obviously, with this product that you're running right now, I think what is really interesting for people to know is the fact that it wasn't an overnight success. You know, this is something that you actually stuck with for, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, around 2 months until you actually broke into consistent profitability. And you know, even I was getting to the point where I was like, look, man, like we might need to look at pivoting to another product soon. So I think
Yeah.
one of the I'd say one of the most common mistakes that I see beginners make is killing things off too quick. They'll launch a test on Facebook, and if they're not profitable, if they're not making a decent amount of sales within the first 2 or 3 days, they turn the campaign off and they pivot to the next product. So yeah,
Mm.
touch on that, man. Like, because 2 months is a long time to stick with something. Like, first of all, what what made you stick with the product for that long? Like, was there any indicators that made you keep on going? And yeah, just give your general overview of the journey as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure, bro. Like just to make it clear, it was 2 months until we saw like good amount of profit, but the product was breaking even for 3 weeks. So when we initially started testing, it took us like 3 weeks to really see like a little bit of profit, right? It was breaking even, sometimes unprofitable. And I remember after like 3 weeks, you said, okay, like let's maybe kill this product. I know there is buying intent. I know like you spent 3 weeks and all your like motivation and like efforts have been in onto this product. But then I said, okay, like Cam, give me last chance and I'll do one more test, which was a pricing test as far as I believe. Yeah, the pricing test really like took off. We decreased the price and the product started converting much better at a higher conversion rate. And even though the price is lower, the product started becoming profitable. And then after it became profitable, it was all about doing small optimizations in the creatives, in the landing page, in whatever basically you can think of. AOV is a big needle mover, like AOV for me. It like especially like last month, my AOV went like $5-6 extra because of a simple pricing change again. I basically increased all of my products by $2, everything I have in the store. I just added $2, and that's because Cam said. And AOV went just like $6 extra. And that's because we have like post-purchase upsells and all sorts of stuff. And that's why like a simple increase basically doubled from $2 to $6, $4.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very important.
Yeah, that's good, man. And then to try and make it relatable to a lot of people who are maybe at the at the beginning of their journey, or maybe they've been in ecom for a while but they're still testing products, what would you say are like the key what's the key bit of advice that you would give to someone who's testing products right now? Because, like, for
Yeah.
example, I'd say like a common strategy within the ecom space, or what the YouTube gurus teach you, is to do this quick testing. You know, test something for 2 to 3 days. If the metrics look bad, if the CPCs are too high, or the click through rates are lower, maybe you don't have enough buying demand on the add to carts, pivot and move on. But I know that our strategy is obviously the same strategy, and it's very much we'll
Yeah.
spend it's quality over quantity, right? We make sure that everything is optimized even from the launch. Yes, you can
Yeah.
waste a little bit of time, but it can also pay off big time, like it has with you, if you actually do that. So let's say, for example, you were to go ahead and you found a product on, let's say, Ad Library tonight, and you wanted
Yeah.
to get that test in place. What how would you approach it now, knowing what you know?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, like as far as I see in ecom and dropshipping, like there's two sides of this thing. Some people prefer like doing rapid tests, like 10, 20 products a month, like 30 even. I've seen guys doing 30, having 30 stores basically.
Yeah.
30 different stores, but that's just a lot of pain, I think, because you have to do landing pages for each product. You have to source images, you have to edit those images. You have to have different PayPal accounts if you want to have PayPal,
Hmm.
or maybe you can just have the same PayPal, but like I prefer having different as it just makes it look cleaner. But yeah, we definitely want to be on the other side where like quality is more important than quantity. And that's what I would do if I came across a product that I like tonight on Ad Library. I would just first go and definitely check the competitors, because one of the things that kept me running this product, the one that I'm running right now for 3 weeks, breaking even, is because my competitor was running it for about 2 years. So he started running it 2 years before me. So it's an old product basically. And I was like, okay, if this guy is running it for 2 years, it means it's profitable, right? Like, who the hell would run a product if it's unprofitable for 2 years? And then I was like, okay, then I'm doing something wrong and they're doing it right. So I was trying to crack what they're doing right and what I was doing wrong. And that's the first thing I would do, to check the competitors. And apart from that, I would go Amazon, check the reviews of the product. I would see what customers are actually thinking about the product. If the product is like, let's say, skincare, is the product even working? Are people like satisfied with it? Because the product can sell, but if it's not making customers happy, then like you're gonna lose at the end of the day, because you're gonna lose from like chargebacks, you're gonna lose from the negative feedback score on Facebook, then Shopify payment holds, PayPal holds, whatever you name it. So that's why the product quality is very, very key. So that's why Amazon reviews, thanks to Amazon, we can like almost see the quality of anything you can imagine.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I would do. Apart from that, go to socials like of the competitors and see like the real Facebook ad comments there, or like just social comments if the competitor is big. But I wouldn't really be concerned about the saturation at that point. Like, unless it's a product like the fidget spinners, that like almost everyone is running. Like, competition, in my opinion, is good. I haven't ran a product where like I didn't beat the competitors basically. So don't be scared of someone being in a better level than you in that product. You can always beat them, and that's the ultimate goal, like to be the number one in the niche and market.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to touch on that as well, I think, it's an interesting point you've raised there that the main competitor was running for 2 years. And a lot of
Hmm.
people are put off by that, right? Because they get taught to look for products that are new onto the market and have just been recently scaled within the last month or so. But actually, yeah, you're completely right, and it's something that I do all the time. I'm mainly looking for brands, right, that have been running for 1, 2, 3 years, because then from a product validation standpoint, it's
Yeah.
already validated within the market, because no one's running a business for 2, 3 years selling, that product unprofitably, unless you're literally stupid, right? You've got to be making some sort of profit. And then if you add on to the amount of if you look at the amount of ads that they're running in Ad Library as well, they've been running for 2 years and they have 100 ads active or 200 ads active, then it's almost like a no-brainer that they're making money. And then I think it's just a point of looking at what the lowest hanging fruit is. So what's the
Hmm.
easiest, what's the biggest opportunity of me going directly against them in regards to competition? And
And
like I've shared this on my screen on these live calls before, and you look at some of these brands that have been running for a couple of years, and actually their marketing isn't amazing. You look at their creatives, there's always room to improve for the most part. Standard drop shippers like us, I know we're not drop shipping now, but obviously we started off drop shipping. We're actually the best marketers, because usually you're selling a product that won't have high LTV. It's a one-time purchase for the most part. So you have to be a great marketer. And I know that the competitor that we were going up against here, the opportunity that we saw, you can let me know if you saw other ones as well, but it was actually the fact that we went in with a completely different ad style to what
mm,
they were running. They were running mainly static images, for
yeah,
example. And then we
yeah,
came in and saw the opportunity. Okay, like what about if we actually come in with high converting video content and actually have very, very high converting scripts in there as well? And it
yeah,
worked, and it worked great. I think saturation a lot of the time is a myth. I think the most important thing is obviously the product. It has to be a good product, as you said. So, if the Amazon reviews are shit, or if you see your competitors' ads and you look through the comments and it's just full of customer complaints, then you're just setting yourself up for failure, because you might see a bit of short-term cash, but it's not going to last. And then after product, because that's the most important thing, it 100% is creatives. It's not
Yeah.
offer, because even if you have a great product with great creatives, that builds a lot of desire for someone to purchase. A lot of the time, the price is secondary to that, because if you position your ad and your marketing that this is a necessity within their life, then they're going to go ahead and buy. So if you have a good product with good creatives, I think you've done like 70% of the heavy lifting. The additional 30% is obviously an optimized offer, an optimized landing page, having your back end dialed in, running some pre-landers. And yeah, you've done a great job with it, because I think a lot of people, if they were in your position, they would have been put off, whereas you attacked it head on.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing, a lot of like the people who are like specialized in editorials, what they advise is to have like like solid funnel before you start testing the product. But I don't really agree with that. As you said, it's all about like the product, how good is the product, and after that it comes with the creative. Initially, of course, the landing page is important, and we're gonna touch on to that later probably.
Mm-hmm.
But the creative part was where we took off, I think, after like 4 or 5 weeks since I started launching the product. We found like a winner creative there. And as you said, we came up with like a completely different ad style. And that was basically voiceover ads. The competitor had never been running AI voiceover ads.
Yeah.
So that's where we differentiated. And also the competitor was like selling at a much higher price, and that's probably because they have 20 employees. Like I
Yeah.
went deep, checked their LinkedIn and everything, and these guys are basically running a lot of brands, and this is one of their brands, my competitor, and they have like 20 people in their payroll. And probably that's why their expenses, because their expenses are very high, they were pricing the products at much like higher ticket as well. Yeah,
It
that
give
was
you
another.
it give you a great opportunity to come in at a much cheaper price and position yourself as a cheaper alternative, but obviously the product quality is the
Yeah.
same. And you could still source the product, so you could still have very healthy margins as well. But I think
Yeah.
let's fast forward a little bit then. So I think people are caught up now. So the last call that we had, you were at about, I think you just hit 250K, and that was
Yeah.
maybe 5 or 6 months ago, or maybe before summer. What's changed since then? You hit over 1 mil last month. I
Mhm.
personally think that anyone in this chat can easily get to 200 to 300K relatively easy. You can, if you have a good product, good creatives, a good offer, you don't need a big team whatsoever. It's very, very achievable. But I would say going from 250 to 1 mil, it's a much bigger jump. So yeah,
Yeah.
just tell us a lot about that and what you've implemented.
Like the first thing that changed the game was the team, 100%. And someone asked about how you build team as well. So I'm gonna quickly answer that. Like when in our last call, when I was doing 250 a month, I just had a customer rep and a video editor. I didn't have a script writer or graphic designer or an email guy. So all these guys weren't existing. So I was just writing the scripts, giving to the video editor, and then we were just launching. And I was like a kind of a bottleneck in the business, because sometimes I wouldn't write the scripts because I'm the owner of the brand, right? I'm busy with a lot of other stuff, like just finding new SKUs, launching the ads, like whatever you name it, whatever you guys are busy day to day, basically. So that's why some days I was writing two scripts, sometimes one script, and then the video editor would wait me. And that's when I decided to have like a script writer in place so that I can like systemize it. And that was like the one of the biggest move I made, because at the end of the day, this whole scale thingy is all about volume, in my opinion. So like me being differentiated from like 250K, me is the volume, how much creatives I'm pushing into Facebook ads, and how much people I'm like attracting to my website. So that changed the game. And to create more volume, you need to have a creative system in place. So that's the script writer writing the scripts and then giving to the video editor. And then the video editor is giving to the like creative strategist, which I don't have yet. And I'm looking forward to hire one. So the creative strategist basically gets the finished creatives and just analyzes them, and then goes to the media buyer, which launches the ads. And then the media buyer gives feedback on the data of how the creatives are performing. And then the creative strategist goes back to the scriptwriter and the video editor and tells, okay, we need to change this, or iterate on this. So I'm still the creative strategist and media buyer in the brand. So I'm doing all those stuff. And I look forward to hiring for those positions so that I can start focusing on the next brand, which is already launched. And last month, I believe we did like 9K on that one. I haven't really been talking about it much, but that's like completely another game because we've been validating that product on organic, and then that's a product that doesn't really have competitor on Facebook ads yet. So we're going to be the first one. So it's going to be an exciting journey as well for the next product.
Fuck yeah.
Uh, yeah.
What does to give people context? What does the team look like now? Then who's on board?
So it's me, my girlfriend. She's been helping me from day one. I haven't been talking about it much. So then the scriptwriter, video editor, customer service, and then the email guy. He's also working with his girlfriend, by the way, the email guy. So he's just like a two-guy team and not really like an agency, proper agency. And he's doing a great job so far. So I'm happy.
Nice, nice. And then let's just touch on. We'll get to the questions in a second, guys. But let's just touch on quickly for the guys who, because I know there's a lot of guys in here who are at that low six-figure per month mark and looking to scale up. And I do think, as you touched on, their team is the most important factor, I think, to really getting to those higher numbers. How did you go about the hiring process? And then a second part question to that is, once you've hired them in, how have you like set things up to manage them, ensure that you're getting a good output from each team member?
Yeah, like by the way, I forgot maybe mentioning graphic designer as well, because that was my latest hire.
Yeah.
And with that guy, like what I did is because I already had some experience in hiring people, and the video editor guy that I hired from onlinejobs.ph, he's doing decent job, as you guys can see. Like we're scaling to insane levels, and he's the only video editor that I ever worked with. But he's at the end of the day like not really creative, so he only does what I say, because there are different people, different hires that you can make. There are guys who are ultra creative that comes up with different ideas, different tests, and there are guys who just do what you give to them. So with the graphic designer, I was just like looking on Upwork, someone that already has an experience in D2C. So that's what I would do right now. That's why I started talking about the latest hire that I made. So I would go and find someone who already has an experience, worked with a brand like mine or like someone else's, knows how to do high converting image ads, or if it's a video editor, video ads, knows the how a high converting video ad should be structured, like from hook to CTA, all sorts of stuff. And then I would just give them my B rolls, my like one of my winning scripts, or like a script that I just made up, and then tell him to make a sample ad for me. And then once I'm satisfied with the ads, I would just jump on a call with them and just ask a bunch of questions about like D2C or how they work with their like previous like brands that they work with. How is their like what's their basically best creatives that they ever ran. Like I would just like ask a bunch of questions just to make sure that they haven't had help with the sample ad, because at the end of the day, I've seen a lot of like guys just stealing samples from other people on Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. That was another experience that I've seen. So definitely be careful with that and make sure you have a call with them and validate them before hiring.
Yeah, 100%, man. And then I think when it comes to actually hiring them and then bringing them on board, I know that we both do a lot of the same things, but definitely getting all of your team members in a Slack channel. What I like to do, and once I get them all into a Slack channel, is you want to make sure that you know at all times what people's tasks are every single day and how the tasks are being completed. So not only do we have a project management tool, we use ClickUp within our stores, and then we have everything assigned to people in ClickUp so everyone knows what their tasks are. And then we update the statuses of each task as well, so in progress, completed, or in review. But then also within the Slack channel, we have something called a daily stand-up channel. So every single morning, employees will come onto the daily stand-up channel. They'll put down their tasks for the day, so that I can just glance into that Slack channel. I can see that everyone knows what they're doing for the day. And then at the end of day, they'll then do their second daily stand up, which is just like an end of day one. So next to all of the tasks that they put down, they'll check off whether it's been done or whether it needs to move on to tomorrow as well. So I think like my biggest advice, because we manage a big team now, is definitely just always have your finger on the pulse with employees. Getting on
Yeah.
calls with them as well is also super important. You're not going to build a relationship with someone over Slack. It's like I use the analogy to Mete, that whilst myself and Mete were working together, like imagine everything was done over Slack or Discord with no calls, right? We wouldn't have the relationship that we have now. And you want to be building a strong relationship with your employees and team members as well. So scheduling a weekly call, whether that's you have a small team and you do a one-to-one with 3, 4, 5 of your team members individually, or you can do what I do, where we hold a weekly team meeting, and then even when needed, I'll do a one-on-one call with people as well. So yeah, hiring is definitely a challenge, and also managing people is a challenge as well. I think most of us get into business and we actually oversee the fact that one day we're going to have to hire a team and manage people and be responsible for people as well. But once you start getting to the higher levels, it becomes a priority, and something that consumes quite a lot of your time. So yeah, that's insightful. I think what we'll do now is we'll start touching on some questions, Mete, because the questions are going to bring up some more topics for us to dive into. So I'll read them out to you.
Sure.
I'll keep the order. So you touched on this slightly, touching on Amazon, etc., about validating products. But Miguel is asking, how do you validate products, and how do you structure your store? I think when he says how do you structure your store, I'm assuming he means like, are you running like a branded store? Are you running a general store? But
Mm. So yeah, firstly about the store, I'm running like mainly all traffic goes to the one product that I'm selling. So that's like the hero product. And then I have like 6, 7 other products, which are like just complementary stuff. And they're all on one niche. So people who come to the website, they sometimes buy like 4 or 5 different SKUs. So that's good for increasing the AOV. That's why I don't like when you just have like one product, like literally just one product store, because there is a thing in dropshipping like language that people run one product stores, but why not like 5, 6 products? What limits you, because people who come to your website, they already believe that you, right? They were already pre-sold and they're ready to buy from your brand, so why not sell them other stuff to increase your margins? So that's one thing. And regarding validating the products, as I said, I would just like go to Amazon, I would go and check their social comments, and then I would go to their website, see the web traffic, similar webs. I use that one for that. And then I would also go to Google Trends or exploding topics. I think there you can find as well and see the trending graph of the keywords of the product. So if it's a product that is like trending up and you're at the start of the trend, that's a perfect product and that's already like showing you some validation. For this product, it was exactly like that. Like starting from January to December, it was trending like incrementally, but it was going down. It's a seasonal product, which is going down, and you just entered from like winter months, and it's a summer product, then it doesn't have any point jumping on that basically. I'm probably missing some points here about validation. I do like hundreds of different stuff. I'm very detailed with that because that's like the most important step to a brand journey to validate a product. That's why I'm against like testing 20 products in a week.
yeah,
Uh,
I
yeah,
think I think validation is just looking. There's not like one specific place that you should look. You should look across the board. You
yeah,
know, look into Reddit. Like for example, if you're in skincare, go into Reddit threads. Is the product being mentioned? Look at the angle that you're trying to target. Just do a ton of research. What solutions are people using? What's going wrong in the market? Look at Amazon, as you said. Look at Facebook ad library. Go on PP ads and check if they're running on TikTok as well. Go on TikTok organic. Are they running on TikTok organic? If they are, what the comments like? Is there buying demand? There's really so many different areas that you can check, and I think if it's checking the boxes in all of these different places, then it's usually a good bet. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
go ahead, bro.
I was going to go to
Uh,
the next question, but if you've got something else, go for it, man.
Yeah, one thing we also touched on the last call was the gut feeling, and I believe that's like also super important. Like your own gut feeling. Like, do you actually believe this product is gonna solve problem of your audience, or do you actually believe that this product is gonna take off? If you don't have this feeling, and if you're like so doubtful about the product, then I would say go and search for something that you're 100% sure is gonna take off. Because every product I tested, like literally tested and spent my money on, I have this gut feeling of like, because it can, like, that's why I ran that product for 3 weeks, breaking even, I had this gut feeling of like, next day I'm gonna make it profitable. Like, next week I'm gonna print, I always had this feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And you saw those glimpses of success as well, because it's not like, just to make it clear, it's not like Mete was unprofitable every single day for 2 months. It was showing some good opportunity, but then the next day, it would be extremely volatile. And I think, you've got to have realistic expectations going into a product test. When you are first testing a product, unless it is an absolute golden egg and it's like a brand new solution onto the market and never seen before product, and it fits perfectly into the avatar that you're selling to, then yeah, you can have consistently profitable days. I've definitely had them before as well. I mean, one of the products that I was selling, one of my first products, was the color changing foundation, and like I think the second person to bring that to market. And I remember within like an hour or 2 hours of the campaign going live, things just went fucking crazy, and it just kept on going crazy. But I think now, we're in 2024. Most of the time, a product has been ran before, so you've just got to have realistic expectations. And what you're really doing within the first like 2, 3, 4 weeks, in Meta's case 2 months, is really just buying data and obviously validating it, because you want it to show some sort of opportunity. If it can have a profitable day, if you can have a day at 30% net margins, then that's enough to really validate a product, because you've had one day at 30% net margins. So why can't you have another day at 30% net margins? And it's just about obviously looking for things that you can dial in further on, making optimizations. Like Mete mentioned, he did a lot of testing with pricing, and then he increased his AOV, and over time, things can start to improve. But let's go on to the next question. Ethan, this is like more of a personal question, which he's asking: what keeps you going every day? As in, what mental model do you use to keep on pushing?
Yeah. Good deep question. Like, I would say definitely to make my family, like my girlfriend and people around me, like even Cam and like people who I see close, make people proud and meet amazing people, have a great life, and never look back and say that like I wish I worked harder. Because like 3 years ago, before I started this journey with ecom, I was literally like lost, like I didn't know what to study. I was pushed into engineering. Like, I wouldn't say like my parents pushed me, but like, I was just like, I hated that course basically. I wasted 3 years studying engineering, something that I really have zero interest. And then before that, I was playing video games in my childhood, wasted time. I don't regret everything. Maybe they were meant to be, and maybe they had to happen, so I'm here. But basically, I don't want to look back and say, "Oh, I wasted my time for something that I didn't enjoy." And I love ecom. I love making money, entrepreneurship, and just growing. And the growth is the thing that pushes me even more. Like every single month, every single week, I just want to become better.
Yeah, man. It because it's such an addicting game. Like
Yeah.
we joke sometimes as well that I could be out about doing things. I could be at a beach club, but actually, when I'm happiest is when I'm sat behind my computer, just fucking working and making shit happen. I'm working on projects that I'm passionate about.
It's gambling, bro.
It
Honestly,
is,
addict.
bro. Um, okay, Zach says, when spending so much on ads, how do you deal with cash flow? Are you using Amex or monthly Facebook billing?
Yeah, I use Amex for Facebook ads and it's been a bless. I have no rejection and whatsoever. I collect points. I'm gonna fly to Dubai
First class,
next
baby.
year. Yeah, let's go, bro. Go. Before I didn't have Amex, so I was struggling with cash flow. I was using Wise, never used that, so be careful. Wise apparently has a 50K limit per month, and I basically scaled with Wise, and then I like my ads just stopped out of nowhere, and that's because it had a 50K limit. I'm not sure why a bank would have a limit though. Like if you guys know anything about it, please educate me. But that was like total bullshit to be honest.
Yeah, I've never
Uh,
used Wise.
some guys are using for Facebook, what is it, credit line?
Yeah,
Are you aware of that, Cam? Like, I haven't checked that before, but like probably sounds useful, right?
yeah. I know quite a few guys who work off credit lines, but a lot of the time they're running off. Like you could maybe get one now. You need to be running off a personal account. Whereas if you run structures like I do, where you're running off bot profiles, it's much
Mm.
harder. It's much harder to get. I mean, credit lines are basically just what agency accounts are essentially. Like if you work with someone like Success Room or Best Fulfill, they're basically just lending part of their credit line to your ad account. So you can get your own credit line. Like one of my friends, the guy who actually put me in touch with Yaki, who I've referred to a few times, like he has his own credit line, but I think he's spending roughly like 30 to between 30 to 50K a day
Mm.
on ads. So like
No,
yeah, you need to be spending high.
yeah.
Um, one
We will
sec.
get there. We'll get there next year. Or, or
What
maybe,
CRO optimizations do you do that have had the most impact on the conversion rate and revenue? So yeah, what like CRO optimizations have you put in place that you've noticed have been most impactful? Obviously,
uh,
pricing is one, but that goes without
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, pricing would be number one, and after that, I would say the landing page. Basically, I'm using pre-lenders right now, and 90% of my traffic is just going to a pre-lender, and that's like a listicle. So, like three reasons why style landing pages, and there you educate the customers more, you nurture them, and then after that, they go to your product page basically, and then from there you just go and yeah, that was my biggest highest like impact after pricing in terms of CRO and like profitability. My conversion rate before pre-lender was, I believe, 3.2 something, and then with pre-lenders right now it's around 3.94%.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a big increase at scale.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I should actually be getting my PDF through from Steph CRO. I think I mentioned to you, he's doing like a full audit on one of my stores, and he's a bit of a G at CRO. So, yeah,
yeah,
hopefully for you guys in the chat, as I start implementing some of the things off that audit, I can start to share them with the Discord server. Um, okay, this is
so
quite a long one, bro. I have a huge drop in traffic going from my listicle to my product page. Would love some insight on how to fix this, and also have a few questions. Would you recommend infographics to support each point of the images in the listicle? How many CTA buttons do you have on the page? And are they offer focused or soft call to action? I'm using an angle with a common enemy. Should I base my listicle on X reasons why they should use my product or X reasons why they should stop doing what they're currently doing? So I think the easiest way to answer that question is just what success have you had when
mm.
building out your pre-landers and how are you typically structuring them?
Yeah, at the last part, I would say the X reasons why they should stop doing what they're currently doing might be more beneficial because X reasons why they should use my product is something like everyone can say. But if you use the other one, which you say that you should stop this and use this and explain this well in your headline, I would say that will convert better. So I had a lot of A/B tests in my pre-lender as well, like in terms of how many buttons I should use or like the images, etc. I used everything, and right now what works the best for me is the main image. Like so, when people come to your pre-lender, there is your product image with the box or packaging, and that looks branded. So they when they land, they see that okay, you're a legit brand, you know. and that helps with the conversion rate, I believe, because I tried like many stuff there in the image section. I tried like us versus them images, but they didn't work well. I don't know why, because I had like huge belief that it would do better. Then CTA, I'm right now having like a sticky CTA on top. So basically it shows my logo in a bar plus shop now button in the pre-render. And basically when people scroll in that pre-render and just read through the listicle, they still have that shop button with them all the time. And I tried without it because some people say you need to make them read until the end to completely nurture them and like educate your customers. But I saw a decrease in conversion rate doing that. That's why I always like to have a button there.
Yeah,
Apart from
I think the start of his question where he's saying he said there's a huge drop in traffic going from my listicle to my product page. It might be a CTA issue. So if you only have the CTA at the bottom of the landing page, then it could be causing a low click-through rate from listicle to the PDP. Whereas if you implement what Mete mentioned there, which is have a sticky shop now button or whatever call to action that you're leading with at the top of the pre-lander, which also is sticky. So when they scroll, it's still there. It means that there's
yeah,
always a visible CTA on the screen. So you're just naturally going to get a larger click-through rate.
yeah. I think it was Kachaba or something like that.
Yeah,
The
yeah, it
coffee
was. It was.
got inspiration from
Yeah.
how to pronounce it, but like I'm just gonna type it there.
Uh,
Uh,
who are some of the best? Who are some of the best makers of direct response creatives, different ad libraries, for example, on Meta? I know that I think someone said it in the chat. It might have been Max. Yeah, PetLab Co. are a really good one as well. There's another guy who I remember seeing him on the Alex Fedotov podcast. I've spoken to a couple of times in DMs. His name's Marek. His brand, someone can maybe put it in the chat if they know his brand, but it begins with an N. It's like Nura or something like that. Yeah, Nuro.
no,
There you go.
for it.
Yeah, someone's just put them in the chat. Nooro. Like, if you guys want to see some good advertorials and direct response scripts, then definitely go and check out his brand as well.
Is it the feet brand? Feet massage.
Yes, yes, they do like those foot massager things, which is
No,
like, let's be honest, one of the most saturated drop shipping products ever. So it just goes to show that, is saturation even a thing?
insane. And I've seen this product many times, and I never wanted to run it because it's so saturated.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got most of the market share, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's a really good marketer as well. Um, Tommy was asking, do you do product research in the Facebook ad library?
Say it again, bro.
Tommy said, do you do product research in Facebook ad library? Which,
Yeah,
yes, you do.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Facebook ad library is like the best place, I would say. After that, the Facebook feed is good. If you can like just go and check dropshipping ads there, engage with them, then Facebook keeps giving you like good like dropshipping products there. Apart from that, I would say also TikTok organic. So this is how I found my second brand product because the product is not even on Facebook ads yet. No one is advertising. It's a hard product to start with. It takes time, like in terms of the supply chain. It takes a couple of months. But I found it on TikTok organic, and people were obsessed with it. So that's why I had a huge like validation there. People are obsessed, which is a good sign, right?
Yeah, amazing, man.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel that your scalability unlocks when you start targeting a bunch of different super detailed personas, like people who are sick and then people who are divorced and so on and so forth, targeting them specifically? So, I mean, I'll let you dive into that in a second if you've got anything to say. But what I would say is the products that I've had the most success with, and I know that you have as well, and other people within my network, are products that are towards a very specific demographic. So like I've always strayed away from products that are super broad. So I mean the easiest example would be like let's take like an iPhone case for example. Who actually is your customer avatar if you're selling just a generic black iPhone case to them? It's really hard to pinpoint that. Where if you're selling, let's just say like some sort of like baby carrier, you know, that thing that the mums put on and they can carry their babies in. I'm not saying that's a good product, but you know exactly who you're targeting. You're targeting new mothers, you're targeting mothers, etc., etc. If you're selling like biking gloves, like motorcycle gloves, you know exactly who your customer avatar is. And it also makes it easier for Facebook to actually display your ads to the right people as well. So yeah, what I would say, and just on that as well, I know Zach, I was looking at Zach within the builders chat yesterday saying his product was also towards like a very, very specific problem that a small niche group of people had. So
hmm
they're always the best products to run with, in my opinion. I don't know whether you've got anything to add on to that, Mete.
I think that's like product dependent, as you said. Like if your product is just for like pregnant women who are about to give birth, like then you can't really target like different personas. You just need to focus on that. But if your product is used in like many different like angles, like personas in atmospheres, areas, basically in your life, then definitely I would say like it should unlock extra scalability if you can target different angles, different stuff. That's one of the biggest levers I think I pulled was to test a bunch of different angles that I find on Reddit and like Amazon reviews. And when you get sales from these kind of people, I think Facebook keeps targeting those kind of people more, and I think that unlocks like the scalability.
Yeah, I think also, you know, looking on Reddit, etc. as well, but one of the best places to get data is your post-purchase survey as well. You know, especially, you know, you can have your set answers. You know, you can have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did you purchase this product? But actually, if you're using a post-purchase app and you give them the flexibility to also put in other, like the other section as well, where they can naturally just type things in, you know, looking at the other section on why people are buying my products, it really is an eye opener to potential new angles that you would have never thought are the reason that people are actually buying the product. Um,
It's a game changer, bro. The post.
Deep question for you, bro. We like getting deep in this community. Um,
Let's
your success is truly inspiring. Tell us about the hardest moments in this path. What has happened wrong, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened wrong. Like in terms of the e-com stuff, I did many mistakes. As I said, the VAT stuff, I lost money with the product quality. And these are just all part of the game. I got huge PayPal holds, by the way. Nowadays I get zero holds, but when I first started this product, I was getting holds every month, and they would keep asking me the passport, the details, my name, surname, blah blah. I gave at least 6 times my own passport, and then I got angry and said like, guys, I sent you my passport like 6 times. Why do you keep asking me the same document? At least ask something different, you know? But yeah, like these are just frustrating things, and they will just keep happening from now on as well, because you always want to improve yourself, right? And every improvement unlocks new challenges that you need to come over, and you just need to be resilient. I think as an entrepreneur, you just don't need to give up and keep pushing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think you've got to accept that these hurdles are never going to stop coming as well. You know, it's an ever going thing, whether you're at 10K per month or whether you're at 100K per month or 1 million per month. You know, you're always going to have shit to deal with. But I mean, entrepreneurship, it comes down to problem solving. How good are you at solving problems? And
100%.
the guys who are the most successful are the guys who are the best at problem solving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, you didn't work a 9 to 5, did you? Someone said, how did you balance your ecom stores whilst working 9 to 5?
No, I never did. I never did. Yeah, I just graduated, and then right after I was like full-time ecom.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, when you're looking at a product to launch, like what are the opportunities that you're looking at when you find a competitor? So the competitor that you found for this current product, like how did you analyze what they were doing and decide on what opportunity to take to try and compete?
So, first of all, like when I first saw this competitor, I was so scared, you know, because I've researched to them. They had 20 employees. The ads they run, they were running it like Pet Lab Co, you know, such like specific D2C ads, like, you know, the styles like Paint or Microsoft Paint style ads, from that to Post-it style ads, like stuff that you wouldn't test as a dropshipper, right? Initially, when you test the product, you just go with like classic video ADA model and then some static images. But those guys were in another level. Their email marketing was in place. I had zero email marketing. I didn't even send one single campaign. But at the end of the day, now I beat them 100%. They're right now at much lower scale, and their web traffic is even going down because I'm like probably getting a lot of market share right now, and their product price is high, so people choose me over them. But yeah, one thing I analyzed was the quickest stuff, which was the creatives, what do they do and what they haven't done yet, which was the voiceover ads. So we went full into that. I didn't run any image static until like my fourth or fifth month, until when I first hired the graphic designer, which was a couple months ago. Then we started pushing with statics. And I kind of regret that because some of my statics are converting insanely right now.
Same.
And I highly recommend like going with statics as well. Never give up on that because different people resonate with different kind of ads. Some people don't like to watch videos, but they would still want to buy your product. And if you show a static on them with a nice headline and social proof, then why not?
Yeah. Did you start splitting your statics into separate campaigns? I know we spoke about that the other week. Did you
Not yet, because I'm still testing everything in one single campaign, the ABO, but I'm planning to scale the statics in a different campaign. Yes, like I don't want to mix it with the videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's good. We kind of touched on this. We touched on the team aspect of this question, but you were hovering around 2 to 300k a month for a bit before you cracked 1 million a month. What was the main factor that took you from 300 to 1 mil? Anything else outside of team? Would you say?
The pricing different, like I increased the prices by $2, as I said, that unlocked a lot of like free money to spend more on the ads. So basically, when your AOV is high, you have more profit to spend on the ads, and when you spend more in the ads, automatically you scale further. And again, the volume, creative volume, I increased from testing, let's say, like 40 creatives a week to 60, 70 creatives a week. Like I keep launching every 1 to 2 days new creatives, 10, 15 batches.
Yeah. And I think outside of those two things, we've touched on it briefly, but I would definitely say the introduction of running listicles as well, instead of sending them directly to the PDP. I remember when we implemented pre-landers, you know,
Yeah.
we probably did that around the 200 to 300k a month mark, right?
Yeah, everything matters, bro. Like in this game, there's no certain thing that can like put you so up. Everything like combines and accumulates, and gradually you just scale to insane levels. It
Yeah,
all started from January at the end of the day,
yeah.
like all the testing phase.
Yeah, team, in my opinion, though, is still like the number one factor to actually being able to scale that aggressively. Because I remember we were jumping on calls and you were like, "Oh, bro," I was like, "Bro, what have you done like the last couple of days?" And you're like, "Oh, like yesterday I spent like 7 or 8 hours writing scripts," and I was like, "Nah, bro, you need to fucking outsource that." And
Yeah,
now that you've managed to build this team around you, where they're building out the scripts, you know, the editors making the videos, you have the email guy pumping out all of your campaigns, you have your graphic designer building out your statics. Number one,
yeah,
it removes so much mental baggage within your head, and then you're able to actually think from a more strategic point of view, and you have a much clearer vision of the whole business as well, and just more time to think about actually focusing on decision making, right? Because it's
yeah,
hard to actually focus on making the right decisions when you're in the trenches basically doing everything within the business. And once you remove yourself from that, you're able to make those decisions. Like some days, like honestly now, like some days I will just like sit on my balcony and not really do anything besides just like think. And I'm just there like thinking for 2, 3, 4 hours, just drinking coffee, like reading and stuff. And I'm just thinking like what are the next chess moves that I can essentially make to get myself to the next level. And then I just have like a Notion document where I literally just have like all of the things that I need to implement within the businesses that I have. And it's the place. You've got to put yourself in that position if you actually want to scale huge.
you get the best ideas when you do that, bro. Like
Oh
just
yeah,
live in that mindset and like relaxed and just think what you need to do, and then like from there you just keep pushing better, because when you're in this cycle of constantly pushing creatives, making creatives, going back to graphic designer, video editor, publishing ads, blah blah blah, then you forget why you're doing all of these, where are you going, your direction.
Yeah.
that's that's
I actually watched a YouTube video today. It's actually he's in a different space to us. He's in the agency space or the recruitment agency space. It's a guy called James Blackwell. Some of you guys might have heard of him. He's someone who I met in Marbella during the summer, and he actually uploaded a video onto YouTube today. It's a short video, 6 minutes long, and I mean he's in a great position. I think he's maybe got a net worth of 20, 30 million. So he's definitely in a great position. And he does say that, for example, within his routine and business, he won't work Mondays. And on Mondays, all he does on a Monday is go walks, be in the sun, read his Kindle, and just ponder with his thoughts. And he almost, he was saying within the video that you can't be working all the time. The guys who are saying that they're putting in 50, 60, 70 hours per week, it's unsustainable. And also, if you are putting in 40, 50, 60 hours per week, how much of that is good work? And then you've also not really got enough time to think for yourself. And he actually used the analogy of, if you think about a lion, like what does a lion do? Like a lion is actually like resting under the shade under a tree for like 70% of the time. But then that 30% of the time where they need to go out and hunt, like they fucking go out and hunt, like they're at work. So,
mm,
he uses the time, he frees up his time so that he can think and that he can strategize. And that whenever he does have a project or things that he needs to implement and the idea comes into his head, he's all go, 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 go. But obviously, you can't get to that point unless you build operations and have a team in place in order for you to do that. But yeah, I just thought it was super interesting.
100%, bro. Sounds like Messi, how he plays football.
Yeah, literally just walks around the pitch for
Yeah,
half the game.
yeah.
uh,
Love that.
right, where was I? Okay, so if a product has been sold for years, how do you make sure that their ads are actually profitable and it's worth testing? The reason I ask is because a brand running for a long time is able to afford a much higher CPA because of the customer base, upsells, etc. We'll finish off the question, but what I would say on that is only really if they have a product that they can have a high LTV on. So if you're talking about brands like Space Goods or even fashion brands as well, then that have a high repeat customer rate, then yes, they can run them profitably. Like I know Space Goods, for example, I've had some like behind the scenes insight into Space Goods. They pretty much run at a break even on their ad spend. But then he says, what question has to be answered to be confident that the product can be profitable from ads without the initial customer base?
Yeah, you touch on a great point. I think the LTV is the key word there. Like if it's a product that has a high LTV, then definitely you would want to have a good customer base to be like 100% sure on the product. But the product I'm talking about is like literally like a drop shipping product, which has like a low LTV. In my case as well, like my repeat purchase rate is around 4%, which is very, very low, and that's something I don't like much, and that's why from starting from next year I'm gonna look into products which are more repeated in the purchases and has higher LTV.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what it just comes down to, what we just touched on there.
Yeah,
And then we have, I'll let you touch on this and then I'll go into some things as well. But
yeah.
how do you approach killer SOPs for all the different roles? Do you have any checklists slash framework in mind? So, I mean, I touched on that briefly in regards to using project management tools, making sure that you're having calls with your team members as well, having them in a Slack channel. And then, sorry if I'm taking the limelight here, bro, but just one thing that I would like to add
Go ahead.
is like
You're the
any task that you do within the business and you're looking to hand it down to team members, like record it. I think people do SOPs, like I got taught to do SOPs through having like an internal Google Drive with different Google Docs on how to do things. But I just record, I have a Google Drive, and any role within the business, whether it's for example, Ethan asked me, do I run all of the ads myself? Like, no, I don't. Like, I scale the ads, but then I have a process of launching new creatives and new tests within the ad account. Now, what SOP did I put in place for that? I put an SOP in place, which is a Loom video of me walking through exactly how I do it from start to finish, so that anyone who's coming in to do that job, all they need to really do is watch that video, and they have a very, very clear overview on how to do it. They know what buttons to push. They know how many ads to put in each ad set. They know whether to run a CBO or an ABO. So everything is there recorded. So in my experience from managing a lot of different team members, you know, that's the main thing, is just housing all of your SOPs on Loom videos. And then if you do need additional written SOPs, then you can do that as well. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure whether you had anything to add on top of that.
Bro, to be honest, you explained pretty well, and you're the G for team building. Like, I'm still learning a lot about team building. I'm not an expert myself. I have a relatively like new team, but yeah, training is very important at the start, I would say. And Loom videos, ClickUp, feedbacks. I use also ClickUp, give a lot of feedback there for scriptwriter and the video editor.
Yeah,
How I feedback to the video editor is just a Loom video of where it needs to be changed, but I believe you use frame.io or something like that,
yeah, yeah,
where you specifically choose a section in the videos where it needs to be changed. And apart from that, yeah, I just have weekly meetings as well, and that was a game changer because before the weekly meetings, the team was a bit like how to say, they were out of the road. Like, the scriptwriter would just go and write some scripts out of her head and in completely a different direction from where we want to go. And having weekly meetings really put that in place and made sure that she's on track and writing the scripts as I want.
yeah, exactly. And then I would say just one last thing on that. If someone's not pulling their weight, like, number one, like, tell them, like, just be fucking brutally honest. Like, I'm very straight to the point with anyone that works for me. Like, I won't stand for any shit, and I think in my experience that's the best way to deal with people. Obviously you want to be respectful, but if someone's not pulling their weight, you know, let them know about it ASAP. And then also, like, give feedback as much as you can as well. I think as much as you have SOPs in place, you can't expect someone, let's say it's someone who's coming in and writing your scripts, you have an SOP on how to do script writing. You've got to accept that there's going to be teething issues within the first couple of weeks or the first month, and just embrace that. You know, understand that they're learning the brand, they're learning the company and the SOP, and you know, they're only as good as the training that they get, right? So, you know, be willing to give them some pointers, jump on a call with them, or record a Loom video and tell them, okay, this is wrong, this needs improved, and I can understand like why you've done that, but this is actually how it should be done. And as long as someone is like taking that feedback on proactively and you're not having to repeat yourself, then it's absolutely fine. I'm more than willing to help anyone that works for me. Um, how you doing for time, bro? All good?
No, all good, bro. All good. I'm completely free, bro. I'm just
Right.
gonna have a dinner and then relax tonight.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. What's UK weather like?
It's all right. Like, it was all a bit foggy today in London. Closed as always.
Need to get yourself to Marbella or Dubai, bro.
Yeah, don't tell me. I'm like, first thing I'm gonna do after Q4 is Dubai, bro. I'm running from the winter,
Yeah,
100%.
I'll see you there. We have a cigar.
Let's do it. You promised me for 1 million.
I know, man. It's gonna happen. Um,
Yeah.
Max said, when you test a product, do you use a specific theme for the product page, or is it custom coded from the beginning? How important is the product page in the early stages? Like, the theme isn't really important. I mean, all of these themes on Shopify, they're fine. They do a good job. I'd say the structure of the product page is definitely important. But if you just follow the same structure that's in the live example store within the Discord, then that's absolutely fine. It's the copy as well, right? It comes down to the product imagery. Like, you want to be showcasing USPs within the in the product imagery, and on the copy as well. You want to have the same messaging as what you had in the initial ad, so that it's cohesive throughout the whole funnel. You know, if you're telling someone that, if your ad is, let's say, the Bleem product where you're talking about painless hair removal, You just want to make sure that your copy is in line with that big promise that you're making as well, and then also using the ADA model as much as you can on your product page. Um, at what point did you buy stock for the brand?
Oh, literally from day one. With this product, I was so sure. I was like, I had that huge confidence that I'm gonna sell a lot, which I didn't because 3 weeks I was like uncomfortable and stuff. But I bought a stock of 2K as far as I remember, and it was all like branded with branded box and the branded product. Yeah, I was just so sure with the product. I wouldn't recommend that though, because you're just gonna struggle at the start.
Yeah, agreed. Ethan's asking how many ad accounts do you run on for each brand, and when is it worth getting an agency account or a Larissa account's enough? I've got two ad account bans on my current BM for my winner, and I don't want to get my current ad account. I'm scaling on band LOL. Uh, just like one thing that I'd say there, Ethan, is if you have two ad accounts already banned on your BM, then I would look at getting a new structure put in place and a new main ad account to advertise off as well, because there's no doubt about it. I've been told this from people high up in Facebook that like they basically score your business manager, right, based off how many rejected assets are on the BM, how many ad accounts are disabled. All of these different things will actually collectively make up a score. So if you already have two ad account bans, which it's not just like it's a rejected ad, they're quite significant, then your BM and your third ad account that you're on right now will definitely be more at risk, especially during times like Q4 where you'll typically see more restrictions. So I would do that. And for your first question, which is how many ad accounts do you run for each brand? I mean, when you're launching a new brand or a new product test, then one ad account is definitely okay. But I would say once you get to the point where you're spending over 50K per month, I prefer to actually run on two different ad accounts. So then you're just diversifying some of your risk so that if one ad account goes down, for example, you're only losing 50% of your revenue and you're not completely down. So, yeah, that should answer your question. When is it, just that one there as well, when is it worth getting an agency account, or are Larissa accounts enough? Um, I would only run off a personal account. This is just personal preference. There's not like a rule book for this, but I would only run off a personal account if it was off like my personal cam Facebook profile. I wouldn't run off just like an ad account off a bot profile. I would always, if you're using bot assets, get the agency to plug their their ad account into your BM, because the thing is that the good thing about using an agency account, especially like Success Room, for example, yes, on Success Room you're paying some top up fees, but they have like high up contacts in Meta. I'm not talking about just the customer support agents that you get on live chat who don't have a fucking clue how to fix anything. If anything goes wrong on your ad account, if it gets banned, if you have rejected ads, like they're able to sort it all out for you. Like you're not completely fucked if your account gets disabled. Whereas if your ad account gets disabled on a bot profile, like you can request review, but if that review gets declined, then you're pretty much fucked. Um,
You never know when you're gonna get rejected ads, to be honest. Like I had an ad which ran for 6 months, spent like over 100K in ad spend, and it got rejected like 2 days ago.
yeah,
So weird. They say copyright issues, but it has nothing to do with copyright whatsoever.
yeah, it is so weird. And then it wasn't even showing in the business support home,
So
so you can't even request a review on it.
I can never request review for some reason with Facebook stuff. Like Facebook just doesn't give me a second chance.
Yeah, it's fucked, man. I think
Annoying.
it's probably a glitch. Like I've had somewhere in the past as well. You might actually find. I think off the top of my head, I've actually had something similar, not recently, but a few years ago, where it actually wasn't showing in my. I think back then it was called account quality. It might still be called that now, but it wasn't showing for me to request a review. But then
Mhm.
after a couple of days, it actually didn't show as rejected anymore, and it went back to active. So, let's see what happens this week. Maybe the same
Yeah,
happens to you.
yeah, we'll see.
Uh, yeah. So Abdul asks, how do you go about making scripts? Is there anything different that you do that Cam hasn't already talked about? Would you recommend outsourcing that right away?
I wouldn't recommend right away. I would recommend first like learning like what kind of scripts resonate with your audience first. Like as a brand owner, because you have to train your script writer, right? And to train, you really need to know what's working well for you, for your product. That's why definitely try like five, six different angles, whatever you want. Negative marketing works so well.
Yeah.
Like for me, for other brands that I see, like I regret buying this product. I would like a refund. You know, like something that starts negative really hooks people, and then you go and tell why your product is good and stuff, and people get confused by that, and then just go and comment and say, why the hell did you say you hate the product? And then you just say that it's amazing. And that creates engagement, lowers down your CPMs and CPCs or whatever, and just works amazing and converts well as well.
Yeah. Perfect. Um, yeah, script writing's definitely it's hard. It's hard. Writing scripts is the hardest part. But I think if you guys, if you are struggling, Abdul, I don't know how new you are into the server, but if you look into the Ad Creatives channel within the Discord, you have all of the different frameworks and all like different prompting in there as well. And yeah, like for you guys in the chat as well, I'm not sure whether you've used it or not, but actually, what I have being made right now that is going to start off with my internal team using it is we've taken all of the different frameworks that we use, and I've actually got an AI engineer working on the actual prompting, because prompting, like people think prompting is just typing anything into ChatGPT, but there's actual prompt engineers who can really get insane outputs out of the AI. So it's basically an internal tool that my creative strategist and the script writers are going to use initially across my brands, where you'll essentially be able to select which framework that you want your script to be written in. You then have all of the different inputs for that we need the AI to know about. So actually, the inputs change depending on the framework that you've selected, and then you can generate it, so you don't have to do any prompts because we've done all the prompt engineering on the back end. You can hit generate, and then it's going to generate you 5 different scripts for that framework, and then you can make some edits to it if you want. So yeah, I mean that's been rolled out internally within my team, so we can really pump up our volume even more within Q4. I'll probably I mentioned it to Mete. I'll give Mete access to it as well, and then maybe I'll roll it out
That's
a little
insane.
bit more publicly.
I look forward to that, bro. Like that can be a game changer if like it can be as good as a human script, you know, and
Yeah,
doesn't sound like a robot and stuff.
yeah, for sure. Because I think also like script writers, like my script writers also use ChatGPT, but even with like the prompting on ChatGPT and selecting what framework and then making some edits, because there's usually a lot of edits that you need to do to the output that you get. You know, I was on a call with one of the script writers last week, and it's averaging like around about 15 to 20 minutes to actually get the scripts out of ChatGPT, and that's with using AI. Which obviously, if you're paying someone like on an hourly basis as well, which I am for them, you know, there's like limited. I'm capped out at the output that I'm getting. Whereas if I can have them using a tool that's going to cut that from 20 minutes to 5 minutes, I'm going to get so much out of those employees. Or if you don't even run like a team of script writers, you know, it could almost cut the cost, because a good script writer, like you're paying at least between like 1 to 2K per month to work with you full time. But yeah,
Pro-
let's dive into
pro-
the next
pro-
question.
Probably in a couple of years, and because of the development of AI, we can be like probably doing $1 million months just ourselves, you know, just with the computer and AI. No need
Yeah,
for script writer, video editor, whatever. Like it's going to
literally.
an insane level.
Um, Next question: do you surf scale or do you scale horizontally?
So I scale vertically, like I don't duplicate campaigns and stuff. I
Hmm.
just increase the budgets of the current campaigns. yeah, like I sometimes increase by 20% and sometimes just go with 30-40% increases. And that depends on the ROAS that I'm having. Yeah, sometimes I go more aggressive basically.
Yeah, yeah. Roman uh, is who asked that question. Roman, if you go into the call recording channel and then watch the last recording that I put in the server, if you then skip to about 1 hour, 1 minute, it'll touch on the campaign structure that I'm running right now, which is very easy to set up, and I just scale that horizontally. So yeah, go and give that a try. Um, is your current store a brand or are you drop shipping? Mete has all of his stock, so it's not drop shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what would you say are the distinguishing factors between a good product and a bad product to achieve bigger numbers like 500K plus months?
Um, I was gonna say TAM, but I had limiting beliefs with my product that my TAM is low, like total addressable market. Remember, Cam, I was even asking you how the hell people like scale 500K a month, 1 million months. That was a limiting belief. Now I believe that like whatever you find, you can scale $1 million months. It just all depends on you, your volume, your team, your your beliefs basically. So obviously there are bad products, good products, and I think we touched on that like at the start of the call, how to validate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my reply.
Yeah, I think that's like a very, very simple question, to be honest with you. And it's like, does your product live up to the expectations of what you're promising within your ads and within your copy? If it does, then it's a good product. If it doesn't, then it's a bad product, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. What social media platform has generated the most revenue for you? So I guess that's a breakdown between, let's say, like Facebook and IG.
Oh, breakdown. I would say 50-50 to be honest.
About 50-50.
Yeah,
Nice,
good
nice,
fit.
nice. I usually always find that I'm slightly more, I'm more about 60-40 in favor of IG.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, depends on the audience, right?
yeah, exactly. Matt's asking if you were starting over from scratch again, how would you go about it from the very beginning? So, like, obviously, you getting started back when you did, you obviously went straight into the organic route, etc. But yeah, just like, I guess, a brief rundown of how you would go about it now. I know we've touched on it briefly, but
Hmm.
just
Like it depends if I have money or not. Like if I don't have any money at all, like to spend on the ads, because you might need some, like maybe a grand or something, like to run Facebook ads, especially if you're starting from beginning, and you don't know much about like, because as a beginner you will make a lot of mistakes, like I did, about pricing and from there to creatives and stuff like that. That's why I started with organic because I had no money. I was just like here, like living on my student wage basically, so minimal money. That's why I was doing organic. That was 40-50% margins, and that will give you a good amount of cash. And even as I said, now with my new store, I'm doing organic content, and right now, like even today, I got 10 sales, which is about like $160 in profit, and that one is times 30. It's like 5K a month profit, and that's not little money. So that's why I wouldn't underestimate organic. But apart from that, if you have the cash, definitely go with Facebook ads. Don't even bother with Google ads yet, because that's something you can add on later if your product is good and you're scaling well with Facebook.
yeah, exactly. Agree with that. Um, Ethan, I can answer this one for you. What would you normally suggest? Would you normally suggest adding VAT into the product at checkout, or just try to reduce VAT via what you can reclaim? So I wouldn't include it at checkout. What I like to do is I like to include it in the actual product price itself. So, for example,
Yeah.
if you're selling a product for £20, increase that price by 20% to account for the VAT that you have to pay on it, and then obviously you can also reclaim VAT back as well. So, what I quite like to do is, for example, the any UK brand that I run, or if I'm running heavily within the UK, I actually prefer sending product to a UK fulfillment center because they actually add VAT on that. So that's something that you can claim back as well. So yeah, try and reclaim as much as you can, but the best thing to do is actually build it into your product price. Um,
Yeah.
Mete, what would be your best tip for me as I am in high school right now? I'm turning 16 in December, which is like just wild. The fact that you're 15 and you're listening in on this call, man.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
you're
way more
sorted.
successful than us.
Yeah, you're sorted. Don't worry about anything.
Yeah, just chill,
Like,
bro.
yeah, enjoy your life, man. Honestly, I don't know, like chase some girls or something. That's what I did, and it helps, you know. Me and my girlfriend, we really like crush it. She's also like in ecom mindset and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend wasting your time on anything and just focus on your life, what you want in life. Yeah, what's your goal basically? And I believe that's ecom. Then just spend time on ecom. Also spend good time with your family, friends. Just enjoy your life. Not like us who are locked in right now in Q4.
Yeah,
Don't even go out to socialize. Like, yeah,
yeah. Or you can grind for the next 5 to 6 years, build a huge ecom company, sell it when you're 21, and then just fucking go crazy in your 20s and blow it all.
that's also an option. But I believe he's never gonna stop, you know. Like
Nah,
I
exactly.
yeah, Gazi, right? Like he was also trying the same thing, I think. But now the guys keep adding new businesses, like with his new beverage company and others.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, it is an addiction.
It's
That's why I'm
becoming
saying
one.
enjoy your youth years, bro.
Nah, for real, I do agree. Um, is duplicating ad sets and turning off bad ones midday bad? Is duplicating good ad sets and turning off bad ones midday bad? No, that's fine.
Hmm.
I actually lost my position. Give me one sec. Ah, here we go. Uh,
Word. Fat Cubans.
yeah. Uh, oh, here's a cool one. So, Guy asked, "What does your current day in the life look like?"
Um,
You
yeah, my
wake up at 5 a.m. You do a cold plunge. You meditate, right?
yeah, after that, like no, like nothing too insane. I just wake up, have a breakfast, and then lock in for like 2, 3 hours, and then go to gym around midday. My day in the life changes quite like depending on the season. Like right now in Q4, I'm more locked in, more focused on the ads, and not really have time to like go for like chill walks outside because I have still too much things on my shoulders, you know, with the creative strategist and media buying role, and that's where the highest leverage stuff is pulled in this season. That's why I'm just locked in like 7, 8 hours a day right now. Not going too insane until like I have no sleep and like no recovery. By the way, Whoop really helps, Cam. Like,
But
yeah, Whoop really helps with your recovery and stuff. You see your how
yeah,
much you're ready for the next day. So trying to get the green levels there. uh,
what's your recovery score today,
Today. Let
bro?
me see.
Let's see. Mine's well. Let's compare.
Okay, let's see who's the relaxed G today.
I think you're gonna win this one.
You're you're red,
Nah, amber or yellow. I think I'm like 45%.
59%.
Damn, bro, you got me in
Bro, you're in trenches.
that. It's Q4, man. Cut me some slack.
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
right.
okay.
Oh, is there an echo? No, it's all good. Okay. Joel asked, "How do you choose? How do you choose the offer you make for your product? For testing, do you always start with 50% off and then try buy two get one free and things like that? What different offers do you normally test?" Good question.
Yeah, good question. I firstly start with like the packs thingy, like classic Bleem offer, 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack stuff. And with discounts, I never write anywhere 50% off because that really sounds like scammy, you know, because a lot of dropshippers say in the ads 50% off. For many years they did that, and now people are more aware with that 50%. So either do like 40% off, 30% off. Like I see some advertorials and like even Blissy doing 70% off. I don't know how that one works well, but apparently that works well as well. Basically, stay away from 50%. Then I would test different offers. Obviously, the buy one get one free, buy two get one free, whatever suits your product, and but always try to differentiate from your competitors. So maybe you can hit like a like bullseye, with a good offer.
Yeah, yeah, agreed, agreed. It's like 50% off as well. I think if you're running 50% off and above, you put yourself at slightly more risk of actually being hit with a restriction. Like for example, if you were to go and get, if you were to go and work with any agency like Success Room, for example, when they first give you the account, they'll usually recommend that for the first week you don't put 50% off text anywhere within any of your ad copy or creatives, just because Facebook do associate it with more of the scams that are on Facebook, right? It's almost like too good to be true.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
it's something you're really looking for in future. Is something you are really looking for in future brands is subscription slash replenishable products. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's pretty much one of my key focuses at the minute. So yeah, got two brands at the minute which are replenishable products. One which I've already launched subscription on, and then actually some cool insight is that the brand that's on the documenting the new brand channel within this Discord, that's also going to be a subscription brand as well. So yeah, I mean it's obviously a harder space to get into, but I would say that for the long term, they're definitely the best brands to be running just because of the LTV. You know, and some of these brands, even if I'm at like a let's say like a 1.6 ROAS on a Monday and I'm having a horrendous day, I might still be at like a 27 or a 28% net profit margin just because of the repeat orders coming in every single day. So like for example, in the documenting the new brand one, I'll be putting the update in there probably within the next few days, but I believe off the top of my head that last month was around a 22 to 23% repeat customer rate. So it's just pure profit at that point. If you can get a customer to come back and buy, you know, two, three, four, 5 times, then the profitability of that really does compound. And I know Mete, for example, he's yeah, you're looking to do the same, aren't you, with this next brand? It's one that can really have a high repeat customer rate.
Yeah, with the next brand definitely, and but the next brand is not really a replenishable. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, kind of brand. But next year, definitely, I'm looking into like more skincare, like supplements, this kind of products which are actually consumable that people have to order one more if they're happy with it,
Yeah, 100%.
That's where the game changes, I guess.
Orlando says, "What's your margin at the moment at that scale? Also, have you bought the Lambo?"
No, bro. My goal is not the Lambo at the minute. I honestly like don't want to do anything for the like like flashy stuff. Of course, they're like nice to have and stuff. They give you a big motivation to work harder. That's why I never like try to just keep all the money in the bank and not spend anything. I like to spend here and there. But yeah, definitely I'm just gonna keep investing in the business until we reach to like 10, 20 million years,
Yeah,
to next cool stuff.
yeah, 100%. Um, Cam, what is your highest revenue month, and what have you done differently from what Meta does right now? Highest revenue month was last November, which was 1.7 million, but that was across two different stores. And then in regards to doing things differently from Meta, I'd say the differences between what I'm doing now and what Mete is doing is I definitely have more of like an omni-channel strategy. So Mete is you're mainly scaling on Facebook, right? That's where most of the spend is coming from, and you run a bit of Google as well.
Yeah.
But that's yeah, that's pretty much the main revenue drivers. Whereas I obviously run a lot on Meta, run Google now as well, which is an agency that runs it for me. But then I'm also on the likes of Pinterest for all of these brands. And then we actually, for some of the brands, do a lot of influencer marketing. So that's more of a marketing channel that a lot of people don't really do, they don't really touch on. And that's actually was my first entry into ecom, was actually going down the influencer route. And some of you guys, if you're into NFTs or into crypto, might know a guy called Lucanets. He actually owns Pudgy Penguins, who are like pretty much the biggest NFT project right now. He actually taught me about how to run influencer marketing all the way back in 2018. So that's something that I've revisited over the last couple of years. So yeah, just really building like more of a brand presence, like really building communities around the brands as well, is stuff that I've really tapped into. Which, yeah, I know that you're going to do, Mete, especially for this next brand. You'll be tapping into a lot more of those levers, because yeah, when you're really looking to push, like even like your stage now, Mete, like 1 mil a month, but even past 1 mil a month, like you really need to be everywhere, right? If you look at any
Yeah.
of these top brands, they're really tapping into all of the channels, even all the way down to affiliates. I've not really tapped into affiliates as much as I should be, but that's
Yeah.
another channel that I should definitely be putting in place, because I know that one of my competitors for one of my brands, about 60% of their revenue is coming from affiliates, and they have
Oh,
thousands and thousands and thousands of affiliates that are literally just posting on Instagram stories with their affiliate links, talking about the product, reviewing the product every single day. And these are just affiliates that have maybe 500, 1,000, like less than 10,000 followers, but because they're operating at such a high volume, it's driving them so much revenue. And if you think about it, it's a really smart idea, because if you're spending, let's say, like 5K on an influencer marketing shout out on Instagram, and they have maybe, 2, 3, 400K followers, actually like the trust starts to be lost the bigger the influencers go, because they know that there's an agenda behind it. They know that the brand's paying them to promote the product. But if you have an army of thousands of small affiliates that have 5,000 followers and less, it's mainly like friends and family and people who actually know the person, who are watching the stories, and they know that they're really not being paid for it. So there's more trust there as well. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to be tapping more into, and I'm putting in the systems in place to run with this Q4.
wow. Sounds like a plan, bro. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I started doing some TikTok creatives as well, which I'm gonna be launching this week. So hoping that TikTok channel will also be profitable, that we can add additional scale there. Plan is to do 2 million this month, so let's go, bro. Why not if we push hard enough?
You're gonna hit it, man. 100%.
Let's go, bro.
Right, I'm gonna bring up Ognile. By the way, Mete, fucking amazing job on this call. Like you've you've really
No,
given so much sauce. I'm gonna bring Ognile up just to run over like a product research thing. Like you're more than welcome to stay up on the call, or if you need to dip off, then that's cool as well. But yeah, guys, if you can just like drop some appreciation in the chat for Mete, because yeah, super super insightful, bro, and so happy with all of the success that you've achieved. It's been a pleasure.
pleasure, bro. Pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, just stay up, man. It's all good.
Oh.
We'll still touch on some more questions as well, guys, like as they come in, if you have anything else that you want to run over. Ognile, just hit that request to speak again. I accepted, but I'm not sure whether it's worked. Mm-mm-mm. Am I using Snapchat ads? No. Like I've had some issues with my ad accounts on Snapchat. So I was running Snapchat ads, but I've had some issues, and they've pretty much shut down all of my accounts. So that's what I was saying at the start of the call. The issues are never ending.
Bro, should I leave the stage for Nikita to
Bro, maybe
say?
try. Maybe try, because I've accepted him, and it's not
All right,
bringing him up.
let's try that.
Give me 1 second. Let me see. It might be in the settings within Discord.
God, that's so true in ecom.
Yeah, man.
And thank you. But I'm not gonna like talk a lot. I just want to really share this idea, and I want to hear from everyone, and like from you, from Mete, from all the 33 people from here. Just the idea on this product research method, because I've never seen anybody talk about that, and I've talked with Mete about it, and I just like kind of shared the rough idea,
Hmm.
and I guess he liked it. So like, and also I found a couple of really good products there. Then, for example, the current product that I'm launching, it has very high views on TikTok. Like videos right now, as we're speaking, they are getting like millions of views, and then as I go on ad library, there is nobody running it on ad library whatsoever, and there is nobody running it on TikTok ads. The TikTok shop, nobody's running it either much more than that, like I would say successfully. But at the same time, there's a huge buying intent. There is a lot of audience asking about product, a lot of Reddit conversations and all this stuff. And I was really all I did, and as I just found this product through this method, and it's so simple. And like it's not the only product. There are a couple of them. Let
Hmm.
me share the screen. I can
Yeah, bro.
show.
You.
It's basically
It sounds like a glitch.
yeah. I was also like it was not the first product, because the current on the first store that I'm running right now, I found the same, like the previous product, like the current as well. I just ran it up right now, and it's generating some revenue. Like yesterday was 4 OS, although like it's on the low spend. It's only like third day of testing and something like that, but still it's pretty good sign. And the same way, like exactly the same way. I just found it there. I looked it up on TikTok. I saw the most viral videos, and I just downloaded and tweaked a little bit, and ran up for testing. So that's it.
I've got
And
I've
one
got like a
second.
I've got a slight incline to what it might be, but I'm not gonna say anything, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and share it.
No, maybe you give a guess, because it's so
Okay.
simple. It's so simple.
Is it Trustpilot?
No, no, but that's a good one.
Okay.
No, no, no. I've never heard about it. All right, no, it's actually very simple, and you actually don't have much of a control there. So if you see here, it's just 1688. But the thing with that, I don't know if anyone done any sort of research on 1688. It's actually crazy. Like
Bro,
because after you
yeah, but this is like nostalgic for me because I did product research on 1688 like 3 or 4 years ago. Like actually, maybe you heard on the call, but the color changing foundation, which was one of the products that was like a golden egg for me, I was literally the first or the second to launch it into the market, and we did over 7 figures with that product until Jeffree Star absolutely fucked me for it. But I found that on 1688.
damn. Yeah, because the thing is that I have also a very unique skincare product right now that I've never seen of this concept before. I've never heard of this concept before, and it's getting crazy sales on Amazon. Like last month, it was 20,000 sales, and I feel like if I bring it to the ads right now without any competitors, it can perform similarly, because it was something that I did with the previous product, and it might, like I have a like really, that's what Mete was talking about. I have a really good gut feeling about that. It's like it's the same situation as you had basically.
That's so what like that other product that you found without obviously giving the product away, like what are you actually doing when you got into 1688? Are you literally just looking at the images to see anything that jumps out and looks interesting and then cross-referencing it by checking it on TikTok and the ad library?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I just search through them, and for example, you might see some products that are being ran. For example, this is quite a famous dropshipping product. But at the same time, like as you scroll, as you like refresh the page, you will start getting like completely different products depending on what you click on. And it's not like AliExpress or Temu. They have like a pretty dumb algorithms in my opinion. And here is pretty sophisticated. There's like you have all the time kind of new products, like some wild stuff, skincare, supplements, everything, like literally everything that you see on Amazon, you can find here. You can source it easily. And I also confirmed it with my supplier, like with my agent. I asked her, is like anything that I can find here, can we just can you just order it from there and just ship for me? She said, yeah, anything you want. So
Yeah.
like it's pretty simple, and it has also like this fire section, and you can kind of like I don't know. I haven't scrolled here much, but it's also like another section like with the how they call it like selection peak or whatever.
Even just
But
looking
it's not
now, like even that, like oh, I think you've yeah, even just like that coffee cup, for example, like there's a lot of like obviously you have the blackhead remover, which is a common
yeah
product, but even just as you've been sharing your screen, there's a lot of products that I've actually never seen before. Like from what I've
yeah
heard with 1688, like it's from what I've heard, and it's kind of like a known thing, is it's almost like the closest you're going to get to going to China and visiting factories or going to the Canton Fair without actually going to China to the Canton Fair because
yeah that's
it's mainly like brand new products.
Yeah, and besides that, like you can actually see the true price from the suppliers, like from the actual manufacturers, because those are mostly, as I heard, those are mostly employees of the manufacturers that manage it, and they basically take care of retail in China. This is why it's like a domestic marketplace. But at the end of the day, it stops nothing from you just to take the product, send it to your agent, and then just ship it out to your customers worldwide. Like nothing stops you, and the product uniqueness is like so high. For example, here are some ideas. Like like the fridge products. I saw a fridge product running in Australia really high, and there was like the odor remover. You see, and
Hmm.
this one I just randomly picked. It's just like a thing, a device that you put your herbs in, and they last for a lot of days. Like that's a cool thing. Like you put the water there and keeps it fresh. I've never seen this product before.
No, me either.
I'm not saying that it might be a really high AOV product, not really, but maybe I mean it can be something out of it. Then like the next thing is what the hell is that? I don't even know, but it's just another beauty product. And women, pretty sure they like the stuff. Like after you see what's being ran on ad library in terms of different devices, like on the stuff, like they just buy anything, and this can be sold like pretty well. I don't know. I don't even know
I
what it
think
does,
I think like
but it
yeah,
just
but one of the things that you could probably do. Yeah, I was gonna ask like, okay, that's easy to translate. Um, one of the best ways to actually navigate 1688 is not just you can just go on to 1688 and just click through and see what looks interesting to you, right? But because it's mainly
Mm,
new products that are being added to the platform in comparison to AliExpress and Spy Tools, is
mhm,
really like the most logical way to approach this would be based on like winning angles that have already been validated within the market. So I always like to use
mm,
the analogy of like there was a product that I ran, again, one of like my first products, which was like wax beads that you used to heat up, apply it to your skin, and then it would be painless hair removal. So the whole winning angle there was painless hair removal. Then you had Bleem that maybe came in 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that brought a new solution to the market, which is a new product, the product being the solution, but it was still the same winning angle that had already been validated like 2 3 years before that.
mhm,
So it's like you can come onto 1688 and actually say, okay, like I want to specifically look for a new product that is a new solution to an angle or
mm,
an avatar that is already working well or has already been scaled to 7 to 8 figures. So painless hair removal, like what products can you find here that are a new solution for that the market hasn't seen before, but I know there's buying demand for it. So it's how I would be approaching things and how I do like a lot of product research whenever I decide to do product research. Is
uh.
look
Yeah,
look
that
look
definitely
for like
makes sense.
where the demand already is, but then look to bring a new solution to that market.
Yeah, the only question then how to how to navigate it in the perfect way with 168, because like their search, the image search they have on point, like everything is so good. But this one I even tried with Chinese stuff, but
Like put in like hair
I haven't
removal and see what comes up. Bro,
uh
how do you pronounce your name, by the way?
uh the name in Discord or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my name.
The name in the name in Discord.
Just OG Nile.
OG
But
OG
it's just
OG Nile. OG Nile.
OG Nile. Yeah,
I was
it
I was
it's just
calling you Og Nile.
No, that's something from, I don't know, from Minecraft, probably from
All right.
2013. Yeah, but my name is Nikita.
Nikita.
Just
Got you.
yeah, or Nick. Yeah, and some other that I found, like just some like, oh yeah, this is an example of what I've seen. Like for example, you see some products they have like they're literally made for cross border, and they also have some sort of products that are not even made for domestic sales. Like you can literally go here, and there will be some sort of disclaimer that if you translate it, it will say that this product is only for cross-border sale. So there are some products that, like for example, I mean, this is obviously saturated product, but
Mm-hmm.
there are some products that actually specifically made for export, and they don't even sell in China for various reasons. And but this is just an example that I think that this can be used by people like to extreme,
Yeah,
and
go.
there are a lot of the reason why I bring it up is actually because to like just to hear the ideas of how can it be used in a better way, how people here in the community can use it in a better way and find a better way to look for exactly for what you want. For example, as you can say just now, like search for a specific problem
Mm-hmm.
and then try to find the product. And then might be, I don't know, I tried it with the keywords in even in Chinese. It didn't seem to work well, maybe through categories, but there's another fuck up with that because when you try to search through categories, you see it selects two categories at a time.
Yeah, go back on the hair removal tab that you have.
Uh,
You're like, what's this product here? Like that? No, go down. Like she's shaving her leg with it. Like this one here. Click on that. The one.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it looks like Bleem, no?
No, look. Yeah, but it looks slightly different. And this is what I mean. Like you just want to try and. Okay, fuck. It's a Bloom product. It just looks slightly different.
Yeah, but there are still a lot of products that,
Yeah, like you could
oh
spend a
my
like this is it just comes down to time, right? If someone is willing to literally sit here for the next like 3 4 hours and just go down wormholes, like you're going to find products on your sheet. I mean, how did you find the one that's at 4 ROAS?
just here. I was
Yeah.
just refreshing my main page, clicking on products, refreshing, clicking, refreshing, and that's how I found. And it's just like a skincare product. That's it. And what I also like is because it has a huge potential for repeat purchases, like insanely huge. So if I start profitable straight away, then this is a very good sign. I can just, I don't know, maybe in order to not get sued, I will just change the packaging of the product
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not sure if anybody has the rights for it. There, like for example, there is this mask. Um, there is this mask that's being viral right now,
Oh
and a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
people sell that. Like a lot of people. I even tested this product, and this is the product that's I started getting it like in a really profitable way. Like it started getting profitable, but then I changed my companies and I shut down my stores for 2 weeks. I was waiting for those problems, and then when I came back, a lot of people were already testing it, and I lost the momentum basically. But that's the idea. Like people are running this product, but they white label them in a different way. So
Yeah,
like maybe like if different.
I was gonna test this product in January of this year, and
Oh,
actually I can't remember the brand name, but actually there's a huge Korean skincare brand that
this one.
uh, it might have been. I think it wasn't. The packaging looks slightly different though. The packaging was like
Uh-huh.
a silver packet. But yeah, I mean, I
Mm.
see this product. I see this product all the time now, and it seems to be scaling well.
Yeah, it's because the sales on this particular listing I've checked through, I don't remember, some tool or like I don't know. It has 300,000 sales per month here just in this
Max,
queue.
it's that one. Yeah, someone just said the brand's name, I believe. Omni Lux LED. Yeah. Anyway, like I found that brand a long time ago, and like Ethan, like you said there as well, like, how you say to be early to trends. I mean, I had already found that product in January that I was going to test, I believe, off Facebook because TikTok, sorry, because it was going viral on TikTok.
Mm.
But then even like now, like my supplier just sends me products all the time. Like this mask that Nikita was showing, she sent me it back in January as well, and was like, "Oh, this is a hot selling product. You know, do you want to buy some?" So you want to try and
Oh yeah,
build connections with your agents and with people overseas as well. And that's why also like meeting people in China is also like very very valuable. Like it's effort, right? Like in
yeah,
next year, I'm going to be going to the Canton Fair, so I'll be going over there and shaking hands and meeting people and building relationships. But all it takes is for one person to just like send you a product, and it
yeah.
can really change the game. Like even the Yakify people, you know, I met them in Dubai. I had dinner with them, and you know that has just paid off tenfold. So build relationships, and things will start to come your way, and doors will start to open.
Yeah, this is like in this business, I think that I feel like the work ethic, particularly in ecom, in majority of people, they think like that it's not that serious. But at the end of the day, I'll give you an example like of even though the product I ran previously, like you can agree it's pretty brain rot product and it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah,
But
literally.
still, because the volume was so good and because I made everything from my side, I made sure that from my side everything was smooth and that my supplier has nothing to say about me. Like she literally gave me like $15,000 worth of credit, and I owed her $15,000, and I was talking to her maybe like only the first month, but just the way we spoke, the way I tried to talk to her, maybe it kind of brought up some trust because like if not this, I wouldn't be able to sit right now in Spain because it would be such much lower scale and the problems they would come much faster.
Yeah.
So this was like a huge thing, like just one relationships or just one piece. Oh my god, just one relationship just changed the whole thing. And also you said like that.
Even like with the brands that I run as well. I mean, I have agreements with factories and suppliers that even like the latest brand as well. I've got a credit agreement with them that they'll front load the stock for 4 weeks, so I don't have to put anything down, and then I have 4 weeks to pay it off. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, this is cool, man. I think it's cool for you to show 1688 again because it's definitely something that I'll revisit again. And I think for the guys in the chat as well, it's super super helpful, especially if you've validated it like within the last week or so, and you've run a test which is doing really really well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it before I tested like because it's actually I probably found three products in a row, and I yeah, and they're all doing well. Like this is just different thing. Like this is just something that I've never heard. I even tried. I googled like, and I tried to find in YouTube videos how to do product research in 1688 or like ecom 1688 something like that. And I literally found only one single video of a Nigerian guy, and he has some 200 views, something like that. That's it, 200 views, and that's the only video on the entire YouTube talking about it. And still, the 168 is where all the manufacturers are. Is where we can find all of your products, and just why wouldn't we do product research there if it's the source and their algorithm is actually good?
Yep, facts, 100%. What would you say was the biggest learning from the last store that you scaled?
I would say logistics, bro. It's so important. Like the cash flow, it's like every single part. It has to be perfect puzzle because that would be easily multiple 100,000 worth of revenue in that month. But at the same time, I just crashed. To be honest, I was in the uni at that time, and I was able to work only 4 hours a day. And even though I was able to manage to launch the product, but it was really bad because I was with a couple of people in the room, and like when you have 4 hours in the day and you're in the uni, it doesn't mean that you actually have 4 focused hours in the day. That's more like 1 hour.
Yeah,
For me, it was like that. Like for example, now I live alone. I quit the uni and I'm just alone in Spain, and every single minute I make sure that this is towards the goal. This is towards building something bigger, towards making something meaningful, and meaningful life overall for me, for my family. and meeting new people, being valuable to people. Like, and I also like it's I think about all this sort of stuff only when I'm alone. When I was in uni, all I did is I was thinking about hating my life. That's it. I was thinking like, fuck, I cannot believe it. And that's only because of the early success. Like I started my first company when I was 17, and I started it off with 3 employees, and afterwards
Jeez.
like I was just running on autopilot, just coming to the office, working like sometimes up to 16 hours, and I was running it like for 2 years straight, and it was pretty successful. But then when the war started, I basically went into debt. And this is why like after that taste of life, when you can do whatever the fuck you want, and then like going to the uni afterwards because of some war, like bro, for me it was unacceptable. I couldn't just accept the life of the uni, the life of like the perspective overall that I was looking at. um if you
Yeah.
if you look at the like 5-10 year perspective, and I was like in this awful mental condition, and now I'm so fucking grateful, like literally I'm so fucking grateful that there is such thing as ecom, sales, marketing, because it has so much to do with people.
100%. Yeah,
And
I respect that a lot, and I think even from just seeing you within the Discord and when we've spoken over DMs a couple of times, you can just tell that you are such a fucking hard worker, and I think you've got like all of the right attributes to really make it huge within ecom as well. And I think obviously we just listened to Mete speak, and I think for people who aren't a part of the journey and they don't, they just see things on the surface. Like I can tell everyone within this chat first and foremost that Mete works his fucking ass off. Like ecom and succeeding in ecom was his life for the last 12 months. Like nothing else really mattered but actually just making it in ecom, and he would do whatever it takes. We had days where we would look at triple whale and it would be like minus 500-600 pounds, and like that would break a lot of people. And it's not like Mete had another store that was producing loads of cash flow that allows him to sustain those losses. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna do amazing, man. And I think with the success that you've had in that last store, yes, it was a bit of a pump and dump store, but it just opens your mind to the possibilities that are literally at our fingertips. I mean, if I said to you like a year ago or 2 years ago, like, oh, Nikita, you're gonna make like $40,000 profit in a month by selling a fucking Halloween coffee cup, you would laugh, right? So just imagine what you can do when you're in this game longer and you can compound those learnings that you're making like every day, every week. Like it's inevitable that you're gonna find success. Like I know I touched on like Luca Nets, who is like the guy who owns Pudgy Penguins and who taught me how to do influence marketing. And like one thing that he said that stuck out to me when I was kind of on the come up and he was already doing really high revenue is just like, look, just don't fucking quit and then you can't lose. And it's like such a simple term, right? But it literally is facts. Like if you don't quit, like anyone can make it as long as they stick at it. And everyone's on their own journey. Some people might find instant success within a month or 2 months, or other people it might take them 2 years to have a breakthrough. But as long as you stay in the game, like it's inevitable that you're going to have your breakthrough at one point. But yeah,
that's I can't add anything. That's just perfect. That's just perfect. And the most important thing is that I feel like is to know where to pivot, like from different strategies, from different ways of looking at things. Because imagine doing product research every single day on PP ads and launching it on TikTok ads, and
yeah.
like just sticking to it. That would be such a stupid idea.
hmm You're in a hamster wheel.
That yeah, that's why it's very important to look at yourself from the third person perspective, and then look at what other people do, and sometimes be able to change the strategies when something that you do doesn't really work at the repetitive scale. And this is something that was a huge mistake for me, I would say. So this was really huge.
Well, what would you say to someone like Ethan? Because you strike me as the guy who takes action really, really quick, and you're moving very fast paced. He was asking, I've got loads of ideas and products on my research sheet, and all of them look good. Which would you prioritize attacking first? AOV, potential LTV, or ease of sourcing the product slash slash launching the test? Like, obviously, I have my thoughts behind that, but what would you say?
I would say that if you have a lot of products on the list, that's not like the deeper you think, the more like in the deeper rabbit hole you will go, and 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 like there has to be some sort of criteria. Like for example, are you looking for LTV products? If yes, then put just LTV products there, like that. So there as less variables as possible, so that you don't end up overthinking, and that you take something that you see. All right, there is you see that there is a huge demand. So, for example, a huge search volume on exploding topics. That's what I like to check. You see that there are not so many competitors, or at least like it's not overflooded with people, like with dropshipping people. Then I would just say, okay, I wouldn't look further, because there's always like this shiny object syndrome. If the product meets all the criteria that you personally have, I would go straight away and test it, because if you end up having a lot of products and comparing each other, like even though they're all both testing, that's not up to the product at the end of the day. I mean, that's up to the product, but I mean that's up to the fast choice and being able to stick to a certain maybe checklist in the head and just go ahead and test.
Yeah, facts. I think as well, like keeping it super simple, like as Mete and I said on the call, Ethan, like you've been doing product research for a certain amount of time and you know what to look for. You know, you've sat in on these calls, you're in the Discord, you're a smart guy, you know what variables and different things you should be looking for. So it's also just like go with your gut. Like if you have high conviction on something, then that's like the biggest box that I have to tick personally. I'm never going to go ahead and test a product unless I have ultra high conviction. And when it actually comes to testing the products or sorting them by order of testing, it's always the product that I have the highest conviction on first that I'll go ahead and test. But yeah, I appreciate you jumping on, bro, and sharing your screen and running us through that strat. And yeah, I wish you all the best, man. I've got no doubt that you're gonna crush it this Q4. And yeah, we're gonna wrap up this call now, guys, because we've been going for nearly 2.5 hours now. So appreciate you guys sticking on. Big thank you to Mete again as well for coming on and sharing his story and dropping all of the source. And I think if this hasn't like lit the fire up your ass to like really go out there and make shit happen this Q4, then I don't know what will, because it just shows you the possibilities. I mean, Nikita just did 40k profit in the last couple of months on one store, and then Mete has just went from pretty much zero to 1 million a month within the last 12 months. So all the information is at your fingertips. You've got a community here to support you through it all as well. So just go and take fucking action and make shit happen. Right. Thank you, bro. And yeah, guys, we'll keep in touch and let's smash it.
Have a good night.